Now, let's discuss the process of nose and tongue. Olfaction. It is a process where your nose detect odor and smell that signal your brain para ma-recognize ng isang tao ang iba't ibang smell like smell ng food, perfume, and smoke. And next one is smell enter nose. Pag nag-inhale tayo, may mga maliit na particles from the air na nag-enter sa nose and that particle called other molecules and ito yung naaamoy natin. Other molecules bind. Merong dalawang uri ang other molecules bind. Ito ang nasal cavity and olfactor receptors. Nasal cavity. Ito yung space sa loob ng ilong na nagpipilter, nagpipaint at nagmamoist ng hangin bago pumasok sa katawan. Olfactory receptors. Ito yung maliit na smell sensor sa ilong na nag-help makadetect ng amoy. Next slide po. Olfactory bulb. Ito yung part ng brain na natin na unang makaka-receive ng smell signals from the nose and then ipapasa sa other part ng brain which is yung olfactory cortex. Olfactory cortex. Olfactory cortex is a part of our brain na nag-allow sa atin para ma-identify yung smell kung mabaho ba, mabango, or kung anong klaseng amoy ba. Next slide po. Tongue. Papillae. Ito yung mga maliliit na bumps sa dila natin na nag-help para malasahan natin ang pagkain at ma-feel yung texture. Contain taste buds. Circumvallate papillae. Ito is yung mga malalaking bumps sa likod ng dila na nag-help sa panlasa, especially sa mapait ng panlasa. Fungiform papillae. Mushroom shape na maliliit na umbok na makikita sa dulo at gilid ng dila na tumutulong sa pagtikim ng iba't ibang lasa. Chemicals activate taste cells, taste buds. Kapag kumakain tayo, ang chemical from the food is natututunaw sa laway or saliva at pumapasok sa taste buds gamit ang maliliit na butas. Taste cells. Sa loob ng taste buds, may special na cells na kumakapit o tumatanggap sa chemicals ng pagkain kaya nalalaman ng dila kung anong lasa ang food. Next slide po. Signal sent to brain. Nerve fibers. Kapag kumakapit ang chemicals sa taste cells, na-activate ang cells at nai-stimulate ang nerve fibers kaya nagsisimula ang signal ng panlasa. Nerves. Ito yung nagpapadala ng signals papunta sa brain sa pamamagitan ng cranial nerves. Kaya nalalaman ng utak kung anong lasa ang pagkain.
So, types of stimulus in animals. So, the first one is the visual stimulus. So, visual stimulus, these are the light signals. Like for example, the light or any kinds of light, like electromagnetic lights or UV rays, something like that. It is detected by the photoreceptors in animals in the retina, which the brain then converts into images. So in visual type of stimulus, it actually helps us to form images, to see the world, to see colors, to see the world around us, and to see our environment. And the next is the auditory. These are the sound vibration that is detected by mechanoreceptors in animals. So it actually helps us interpret sound, like for example, how things sound like. For example, it sounds too loud, it sounds too faint, like that. And the next one is the tactile. So the tactile is actually, it involves physical contact. So for example, in animals, when something touched them, or like a predator or like some other animals touch them, they can actually feel it because mechanoreceptors detects those. So with that, it helps them survive longer, and adapt to their environment. And the last one is the chemical. So chemical are molecules present in the environment detected by chemoreceptors. So chemoreceptors, it detects chemical substances, as we said earlier, the food molecules or the food chemicals interacts with our receptors in the tongue, also in our nose. That's why we interpret the taste, how good it tastes or how bad it tastes, to our brain. And sensory system of animals. So animals process their surroundings through specialized sensory systems that helps them act in their environment so that they can survive much longer. And they also it also benefits them um, rather than plants, because they helps us survive much longer. So this is a process of sensory systems in animals. So stimulus detect stimulus such as light, pressure, texture, vibration, sound, temperature, chemicals, like that. And then the receptors then detects it and then converts it into electrical signals, and then it travels along to the nervous system up to the brain, where it respond and interpret as what we do or what we act. The next one is motor systems of animals.
And now, we will talk about the motor mechanism in animals. Animal responds to change in their environment, but they only react to things that are important for survival, like danger or food. Their behavior happens because their body sends something, and the brain processes the information, and then the body responds. This is a cycle process, which means the motor mechanism in animals is continuous, meaning animals are always sensing, thinking, and reacting to what is happening around them. Now we will talk about the process of motor mechanism, starting with the nervous system. The nervous system processes the information received from the sensory receptor. It analyzes the stimulus and decides what action should be taken. Then, motor neuron carries the message or signal from the nervous system to the effector. Effector is the muscle or glands that receives the signal. If muscle, it produces movement, and if it's a gland, it produce secretion like hormones or enzyme. Then, response happen. The response is the final action produced by the effector. This may be a movement such as running away from danger, or a secretion such as releasing saliva when smelling food.
Now we have what we call the sensing the world around them. First off, we have the sight. The sight uses eyes and photoreceptors to perceive light, color, and depth. Second one is we have hearing. This uses ears and mechanoreceptors to detect sound and vibrations. Third one is we have the smell. Smell uses the nose and chemoreceptors to detect the chemical in the air. Fourth one is we have the taste. The taste uses the tongue's taste buds to identify flavors. Number 5 is we have touch. This uses skin receptors to detect pressure, temperature, and pain. Now for the other one, we have the moving in all sorts of ways. First one is we have walking and running. Moving on land using legs, walking is slower than with one foot always on the ground, while running is faster and includes movements when both feet are off the ground. Flying, moving through the air using wings or other structures that create lift and allow control of direction. Third one we have swimming, moving through water by using body movements, fins, or limbs to push against the water. Fourth one is we have crawling, moving close to the ground using hands and knees or the whole body. Fifth one is we have jumping, pushing off the ground with legs to lift the body into the air for a short time. Third one is we have the super senses and amazing adaptations. First one is we have the echolocation. It is a method used by animals like bats and dolphins to find objects by sending out sounds and listening to the echoes that bounce back. Second one is we have camouflage. an adaptation that allows an animal to blend into its surroundings to avoid predators or catch prey. Third one is we have migration. Migration is a seasonal movement of animals from one place to another. They usually do it to find food, breed, or escape harsh weather.